Hey everybody, how's it going? So, YouTube has shut down the newly created channels of Nick Fuentes and Alex Jones. Was it all absolutely a lie? When Joe Biden put his vax mandate and got people like me fired from Google, where I was a security supervisor, and then came out and had YouTube ban people like me, not really ban, but censor people like me, and then ban others who were a little bit more outspoken than even I was? You know, like, imagine an administration so horrific and so tyrannical that the president actually affects your personal life in every aspect possible to make money. That's what happened to me. And that's what is very frustrating because it happened to millions of other people. And the left does not at all want to acknowledge that. And it's so frustrating. I've never had a president interfere in my personal life. Ever. Ever. Joe Biden has multiple times, and YouTube bent the knee to him on every single facet possible. Not just YouTube, but Google as well. And now we're seeing that they terminated their new channels, right? However, it might not be as bad as we think yet. We do have to give it a little time. But I just want to call YouTube out on this. This is completely and totally ridiculous. I don't know what they're planning, but just to put it out there, because I want to be fair, YouTube made this update an hour ago. We've seen some previously terminated creators to try and start new channels. To clarify, our pilot program on terminations is not yet open. It's still against our community guidelines for previously terminated users to use, possess, or create other channels, and will terminate new channels from previously terminated users in accordance with these guidelines. We'll have more to share on the limited pilot program soon. Tim Pool says, unban my episode with Joe Rogan and Alex Jones. And then Carl Benjamin says, what's the holdup? Now, I have a video I want to make on Tim Pool. There's been so much news, I haven't had time. So if you guys could, please like, subscribe, share. Please join my Discord. And I got some news about Tim Pool that I want to cover, genuinely. And about how I'm going to start, I'm going to resubscribe to him and all this stuff. I'll explain all of that in the video. I don't want to spoil it too much. But I need to get time to eventually do this video. So, the original tweet here. Tomorrow we're announcing a new way for YouTube users to get in the lab with us and try our most cutting-edge experiments. Stay tuned. Oh, this is a different... Never mind. This is a different thing. I thought they were... Did I click on the wrong one? Oh, okay. And it got rid of it. All right. Good job. Anyway, so before I go and look for that tweet, what's the holdup? I have a theory. I have a theory as to what may be going on. Maybe they don't want these channels starting, or these people starting new channels. Maybe they're trying to get a hold of everybody and be like, look, let's go to your specific channel that was terminated. We still have it archived. We're going to revive that. Okay? We don't want to have multiple channels out there. We don't want to have to keep track of this channel. We're going to do this. Maybe the scope is we're going to keep watch on you for 90 days explicitly to see if you guys are going to violate our rules in terms of services or something like that. Who knows what YouTube is planning? Okay? But it's weird still because it shouldn't be this difficult. YouTube should genuinely go on to their most popular creators. They should be reaching out to them and getting this done ASAP. They should have had this open and ready to go the moment they announced it. What I think they're doing is they're trying to get a pathway to figure out if, this person's legit or if it's somebody pretending to be Alex Jones, for example. You know what I mean? If they're like, hey, we're going to unban your account, and then, they either just post it without the proper credentials there. They don't want to get people to hack into it because of old information. I don't know what steps they're trying to take. All I know is that this was a really, really stupid thing for Google to do. It's just, I don't know. It was just really, really dumb to get everyone's hopes up. And then, you know how people are. You absolutely know how people are. YouTube comes out, they make an announcement, and then they keep pushing it off, acting like they're the good guys until everyone forgets about it. And that's what I'm afraid is going to happen, that YouTube did this for just good press, And then they're trying to weasel their way out of it. This isn't 2016. This isn't how it works anymore. People don't scroll through articles anymore. Ever since COVID, people go to YouTube, to Twitch, or to Kick, and they get their information from one of those three areas. That's how it works nowadays. I also, and YouTube should also know this, because they have YouTube Red, which what did YouTube Red do when it came out? It made it to where you could have your phone off and listen to videos. That's the big thing that everybody wanted whenever they ended up getting or subscribing to YouTube. They wanted not just an ad-free experience, but to be able to have their phone off in their pocket. I remember very clearly when I was very early on at Google, I would be walking through their facilities. I'd be walking through Building 3 most of the time, actually. And I had to have my phone screen all the way on the lowest brightness level in my pocket facing outward. And I would have to just pray that it would not bump, that I wouldn't bump into something and it would change the video. At that time, I was listening to Sargon of Akkad. I always remember his intro with Emma Watson in the courtroom. Yeah, how many nostalgic instances did I just, bring up in your head? Every one of his videos would start off with that whole, like, what happened to feminism? Why is it so demonized or whatever the crap it was she was saying at Parliament? But it's crazy. That's what I was listening to at that time with my headphones in, and YouTube did not have a feature to have your phone screen off. I later would find out that if you had Firefox and you logged into your account and you pulled up, you could then turn your phone screen off so you could get around that whole system. So everyone started using Firefox, but YouTube did not have it built into their app. Just crazy, crazy times, right? But with that data, I'm sure they're able to see whether your phone screen is on or off. And I'm sure that they have figured out that most people just listen to their phones, to YouTube channels, to get their information. I'm sure that they have the data on that. Kind of crazy how we literally, with all the innovation that we've had, all we managed to do was literally combine a TV remote and a radio. And that's how people consume news these days. Because everyone else is doing something different. They get headphones on, they're walking around, cleaning their house. You're probably listening to me on your TV right now, or your Bluetooth speaker, or your headphones. You're not even looking at my screen. I'm willing to bet. And you all are doing something, taking care of your kids, doing chores, working on a car right now. You're probably popping a tire off, getting to your brakes, something like that, while you're listening to me tell you about the news. And that's just typical. That's typical these days, People listening to my videos at night while they're doing security rounds, or while they're working on something in general for their job, while they're scrolling or while they're playing video games. Nobody looks at the screen anymore, and they consume news passively. Nobody's taking the time to read articles. So Google's out of their freaking mind if they think that they're going to just come out and say, oh, we're for free speech, and then they're going to go away. They are completely out of their minds if they think that's the way it's going to work. So, let's see. Yeah, I guess I just misread this tweet. I thought it was how they were going to talk about the whole previously terminated. So where did they officially announce this at then? Team YouTube? Was it Team YouTube? We have a lot of questions about a pathway. Here it is. Okay. So it's September 23rd. I guess it's been 48 hours, right? We've had a lot of questions about a pathway back to YouTube for some terminated creators to set up a new channel. This will be a limited pilot project that will be available to a subset of creators in addition to those channels terminated for policies that have been depreciated. More to come soon. Okay. So they said the issue is now resolved. You should be able to... Okay. Here, let's see. All users, NFL. Hi all. Some users having extra... Okay. We just started off. Shared a lot of new info about exciting new features coming to YouTube soon. Okay. Where did the initial... We've had a lot of questions about a pathway. So, okay, so this is their initial tweet. Their initial tweet said that it will be coming soon. So it was a little silly for people to go off and start creating new channels. They should have pretty much waited, I guess, but it's been 2 days and they haven't set up anything yet. Nothing. That's completely irresponsible and ridiculous, Allow creators to get their terminated YouTube channel / accounts to be reinstated for severe or repeated violations by charging them a fee of $100. We knew Google loves money. No, I'm not going to do that. That's stupid. You don't get to arbitrarily ban us and then charge us money to get our accounts back. That's completely ridiculous. Because if you could buy your account back, you clearly didn't do anything wrong. You know? Let's see this. Shadow. I don't care who that is. Shouldn't you have a way for us terminated creators to at least apply and plead our case? You banned me permanently with no reason, no strikes, no violations, no explanation. This is a terrible rollout. Didn't Baked Alaska actually do something to violate law, though? In person? Am I confusing them with Andy Worski? What all happened to Baked Alaska? I remember Baked Alaska did something really, really stupid, though. I'm not sure. So, let's see. Please, everyone raise voice to remove circumvention policy. This guy says, go F yourself. Wow, very nice guy. Great job. Banning account without a strike or warning is the very low of YouTube because they did it to mine a week ago. Yep, that's what they did to me. Permaban any account I tried to make afterwards. Yeah. I want to know why, though. Oh, wait a minute. There's a grok. Hold on. What's this? Why was Baked Alaska banned from YouTube? What basis did they have? Baked Alaska, Tim Yonnet, was banned from YouTube in October of 2020 for violating community guidelines on harassment. Reports indicate this stemmed from live streams where he insulted and harassed bystanders and store employees, such as mocking, mask wearing. Yeah, I think he was actually literally like, yeah, that's right. So he was genuinely like, actually, I think he was actually violating the law. While free speech is protected under First Amendment in the U.S., it applies to government restrictions, not private platforms like YouTube. They can enforce their own guidelines. True. But there are certain things you can't do. You can't just go up to people and harass them, especially whenever they're asking you to leave them alone and you keep going and keep going. I don't think that's legal. That does start going into harassment. I remembered something about Baked Alaska, and all of us, I should have done a video over it at the time. I didn't. But I remember seeing something and go, hey, that's really not okay. Yeah, if I remember right. But I'll have to re-examine that. Maybe I'll go over a bunch. Maybe that's what I'll do, guys. You guys tell me. Maybe I'll just go over everybody's account that's banned. Give me some suggestions. And I'll try to go over the initial thing that happened. Maybe I can find the old videos or something of why some YouTubers got banned. And we can determine whether it was justified or not. How does that sound? You guys like that? Discord link down in the description below. Please like, subscribe, and share all that good stuff, you know. And ban the day after Media Matters hit piece on myself and many others. I wonder who instigated that. Your channel won't be put back on YouTube. Take a careful look at your channel again, confirmed. So apparently there's some way to appeal. I don't know. Yeah, we're going to have to see what YouTube does. YouTube needs to create a portal. You know, how about you fix this since it turns out I was telling the truth? Your channel won't be put back on YouTube. Okay. Well, how are they telling the truth? Dear YouTube team, I'm appealing for the termination. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I have no idea what YouTube is doing right now. They really, if they didn't want backlash, they should have gotten on it and they should have created a portal instantly. Like, instead of coming soon, more to come soon, they should have said, hey, we've had a lot of questions about a pathway back to YouTube for some terminated creators to set up a new channel. This will be a limited pilot project that will be available to a subset of creators in addition to those channels terminated for policies that have been depreciated. Here is a link to fill out information to see if you qualify. At a bare minimum, you will be paired up with somebody, a real person, who will talk you through this, who you can reason with. And we can determine and tell you every single thing you need to know. That's how they should have done it. They said they should have set up an actual call center type situation. Instant messaging. Here we go. Plead your case. These are the rules and guidelines. This is why we will reinstate your channel. This is why we will not. That way, we would be able to hold somebody accountable. That way, a content creator could be like, okay, I'm going to hit record. I'm going to talk. They can argue it out back and forth. I can upload the video and be like, this is what YouTube said. Maybe YouTube ends up making a really, really good argument too. Right with Baked Alaska. And YouTube could be like, no, we're not reinstating your channel. You were bothering people beyond the pale. You were not standing on a street corner talking to people. You were following people. They were asking you to leave them alone, and you kept going on and were being mean about it or whatever. That's against our policy. We find it to be completely different. YouTube could set a policy up like that. Do not follow people in the street that have asked you to stop filming them and following them. I think that's fair. If I'm on the street corner and I'm trying to talk to people and they say, "Hey, I don't want to be filmed. I don't want you messing with me." Cool. Walk on by. I stay where I'm at. I let them go. That's fine. Now, if I'm standing on the street corner and people are claiming harassment, yelling and screaming at me, and they're not walking away and YouTube banned me for that, that would be a major problem. That would be a big, big issue. Even if it's against their terms of service, I'd say, hey, YouTube, come on. Now, people are making their choice. They're inserting themselves into my video. I'm standing on the street corner. I have a right to stand here and film. I have a right to put it on YouTube. You can't make a policy on that. That would be completely ridiculous. Technically, they can make a policy on that, but that's not a policy that would ever be popular, and I think YouTube knows that too. I think YouTube knows that that would be unacceptable. So I don't think they would do that. So it just depends. I'd have to go back over the video of Baked Alaska myself. But if you guys want to see that, please let me know. Please like, subscribe, and share. I don't know that YouTube is in the wrong yet. I think we jumped the gun. I think that's on us a bit. YouTube is saying that they've offered a pathway. The problem is they have not given that pathway, made that pathway available yet. And I fear that they will never make that pathway available. I feel like this is a stunt. I hope I'm wrong. Tell me what you guys think, and I'll see you guys here in the next one. Later.